Look at this advertisement. Looks like she's sitting on a toilet reading a newspaper. These are some things that are going to help you stay in the post office, aka survive. If you're a letter carrier, I mean, this whole video is going to be geared towards letter carriers because that's what I am. You need to take notice to how the regulars perform their jobs on their routes. If you have a little bit of time here and there, talk to that regular. Go as far as to ask him or her how they prefer things, like some things that they're going to look for when you do their route. Even though it's not like really theirs, they do perform the route the majority of the time, like sometimes for like 20 and 30 years. So it becomes theirs in a way, you know, at least temporarily until they move on to a different route or whatever, but it is kind of theirs. Same with their vehicle. When you get in the vehicle, look around. You know, look where they have the rubber bands, or if they have rubber bands. If there's no rubber bands in the truck, make sure and take the rubber bands out. Probably going to be one of their pet peeves, like, don't leave rubber bands in my truck. You know, some of the things that seem ridiculous can mean a lot, break their routine. You know, it kind of throws their whole day off sometimes. I know it sounds ridiculous, but it's a real thing. You know, take notice on how clean things are. If the truck has no garbage in it or whatever, make sure, I mean, don't leave garbage in someone else's truck to begin with, or any truck. Take your garbage out every time. Don't leave your garbage in. Show them that you're making an effort to do their route as well as you can, and follow their instructions, you know, because sometimes they'll like leave little notes for you. And don't take it as an insult. That's just how they do things, and that's how they want it done. They're kind of like your boss at that point, because if you don't do it right, guess who they're going to let know? You don't want to have a bad reputation with the regulars, because there's a lot more regulars than there are CCAs, and word will get around really quick. The post office is like gossip central. If there's any juicy details, it'll get around like fucking wildfire. Don't be the juicy detail, and especially a negative one. This guy is a total piece of shit. Tip number 2, start throwing by name early on. You know, you're going to feel pressured by management to get stuff done as soon as possible. So you're going to throw by number, most likely, and you'd be like, you want to go quick. But if you start throwing by name early, you're not only going to make the regulars happy, but there's going to be less complaints about you overall, because the customers aren't going to be like, why am I getting all this garbage mail? And the regulars are going to be like, oh, well, this guy was on my route on that day, like, I'm going to talk to him, you know, like, and then you get in trouble with the regular, and then the regular reports you to management, and then you get in trouble. It'll make you slower at first, and some people will be like, come on, hurry up, you know, but you'll be doing the job right, and that's important. Accuracy, in my opinion, is more important than speed. Tip number 3, don't let speed affect your health. Don't prioritize your job over your own personal safety. Don't let your job rule your life, even though you sign a contract saying like you got to prioritize the post office over everything. They know that's not going to happen, and you know it's not going to happen. Don't let it happen. Tip number 4, if I'm still counting, I don't know. Always be prepared, and that means appropriate clothing, have enough food and water for the day, have enough food and water for extra. If someone else is struggling and they forgot something, you can hand them a little snack and then make their day, and then you also have a friend, and friends will be more willing to help you when you need help. If there's any chance of rain, bring a rain jacket just in case. It might be a pain in the ass to carry around all day, and you may never use it, but you'll be glad you brought it when it starts drizzling and then eventually pouring. When you get off work, especially when you're just starting out, you're a CCA, you're doing a bunch of walking routes, you're walking 10, 12 miles a day, don't be a fucking potato. Don't be the person that gets home and says, I'm tired, I gotta rest. Get home and start doing something else. You want to build up your muscle to where if you have a long day, you can handle it. You don't want to build up just enough muscle to get through the day and then just like pass out. Like, otherwise you'll have zero life outside of your work. So when you get home, even if you have like an hour or two of free time, use it. Go do something. Go for a jog. Go ride your bike. Go ride BMX. Go up to the mountains. Go hiking. You know, if you have time. And on your days off, same thing. Don't rest the whole day. Do something. Get your body accustomed to being used. You know, you need to build up your legs, build up your lungs.
Jet 4901 West 93rd Avenue.
Get used to that.
Then letters.
So yeah, don't be a potato waiting to be mashed the next day. That's stupid, I know. But it's true. I see so many people, they're like, oh, I'm so tired from work. And yeah, they are. You know, their body's tired, they're tired mentally. They don't want to do anything else. They want, you know, full relaxation, engaged. But that's pretty much the opposite of what you should do. I'm not saying like stay up for like 34 hours straight and then just, you know, work and have fun, work and have fun. I'm not saying that. I'm saying the bit of time that you have after work and sometimes before work. If you're like a really early bird, go for a jog. Get your body flowing. Ride your bike to work if you can. If you just got the job and you know you're going to be a CCA and not an RCA, it takes a while to get in after you actually got the job. You know, it'll take weeks, maybe even months, depending on your station. So in that time period, you know, you might be working some other job or some temporary job. That's what I did. Start walking. The longest route at my station, I think, is like 16 miles of walking, something like that, you know, from start to finish. And, you know, depending on your station, it might not be so long, but start walking. This lady's walking. Hello again.
Hello again.
I started off with, like, I think, like 7 miles or whatever, and then I ended it at around like 10 miles. I used like Google Maps to kind of judge the distance. I was going uphill, downhill, all that kind of stuff to replicate what I'd be doing at work. And it worked. There was zero transition from not working to working in terms of my ability. You know, I wasn't sore at all. You know, my feet didn't ache. I had already done all that before I started the job. I consider myself to be in good shape to begin with, but if you haven't like walked 3 miles, 10 miles, it's a pretty big change in pace. A lot of people might not have ever walked like a solid mile or two in their life, and they go from doing that or not doing that to doing this. A lot of people quit after that first day because they realize, oh shit, I gotta walk 16 miles every day. I don't know if I can do that. My legs will fall off. But prepare yourself. Don't just like jump into it and then say like, oh, you know, I can do it, because a lot of people can't, or they are not willing to do it. If you're on a route, make it a priority to find where the bathrooms are. You don't want to be the one guy on YouTube that, you know, someone captured on their phone, you know, taking a shit behind a bush or a piss, you know, behind an alley or something like that. Like, you don't want to be that person. You know, find out where all the outhouses are on the route. Find out where there are convenience stores, restaurants in the area, because some routes suck for bathrooms and food. Which leads me to my next thing. Take your damn breaks. Take your breaks. You get 2 10-minute breaks a day and 1 lunch break. Don't skip your lunch breaks. Don't give them your lunch breaks, you know, without doing a no lunch. You have to sign a paper at the beginning of the day that says specifically no lunch in order to get that. Otherwise, they will deduct 30 minutes from your pay each day. So I know tons of people that they're like, I don't have enough time for lunch. I don't have enough time for my 10-minute breaks. If you're not taking your 10-minute breaks, if you're not taking your 30-minute breaks, not only are you going to mentally and physically fatigue yourself, you're giving your money away. Don't do that. Always have a pen and always have a pack of left notice slips. You can get by without change of address cards and, you know, the sort of obscure paperwork that occasionally you need. And definitely the Sunday specific left notice slips, because like, what are those even for? It's like, why not just use the regular left notice? You know, you put the day on the slip, like you put the date on there. Anyway, always bring that stuff. A pen and left notices, because they're, you know, you might think, oh, I'll get by without it. It's like, no, you won't. If you see an open door or an open garage door, any open door, be cautious. There could be a dog in there. If it comes down to it, walk on the sidewalk or even in the street to let that dog know that you're respecting their territory. You know, they might come out and let them know, like, oh, don't get in my yard. Oh, don't. A lot of dogs recognize where their territory ends. You know, they see cars drive by, they see people walk by, and they might bark, but that's them letting you know, don't get on my yard. So respect that. And this is also a thing, Don't be wearing headphones. You're already spending like 50% of your time looking at the mail. So you're taking away a pretty large part of your situational awareness already. Your eyes, so you need to be using your ears. But when you do occasionally look up to scan around you, look for open doors. Owners are sometimes like having a little party in their garage or a garage sale, or just hanging out in their garage like by themselves. And a lot of times they trust their dogs enough to stay put. And for whatever reason, people think they have 100% control of their dogs, even though the dogs are individual beings and they have their own free will. And also, we have a huge communication barrier to dog owners out there, and I'm sure most of you own a dog watching this video. Don't trust your dog 100%. They are unpredictable, just like humans are, but even more so because we don't fully understand their language, and we just don't fully understand each other, and we never will, because we are different species, and you can't even fully understand another human. Like, so how are you gonna expect you can understand a dog, and vice versa? Keep your expectations low. When you get back to the station, expect you're gonna go back out. You won't be disappointed when you're like, oh, well, actually, we're gonna send you route whatever. He's got like 30 hours left. You're gonna have to do it all by yourself. Keep your expectations low. Keep them realistic. We are city carrier assistants, and RCAs are rural carrier assistants. Our job is to assist the regulars. We get a bit abused, but that is our job. That's our title, if you think about it. Break it down. Keep your expectations low for going home. Get a system. This goes hand in hand with organization, but get a system, develop it, broaden it, take in other people's systems and make it a part of your own. Don't just get locked into one way of doing things. Try some different things out. See what works best for your brain, because everyone's different. Driving routes are different than walking routes and box routes. Each route itself is actually different. They have their own identity, and you need to kind of switch it up occasionally, depending on the route. You might need to, tub this or tray this, or, set this stuff in this part of the truck. All that stuff, they're factors. Try things out though. Try them out, see what works best for the route. Tweak little things here and there. Developing a system will help you be more efficient, and it'll help you do your job in a more accurate and organized, quicker, all the good stuff fashion. Keep organized. Have everything separate, like have your forwards, your miss sorts, your UTF, vacation holds. Keep organized throughout the day. Don't just like put everything in a pile and then deal with it at the end of the day. Like, you're going to create a headache, and you're also going to not know where some things go. Like, you're going to be like, was this a miss sort or was this a forward? I don't know. Stay organized throughout the entire day. You need to be really open to criticism. There's a difference between like constructive criticism and like destructive criticism. And some people don't know the difference. But when you get criticized for something, it means something's wrong and something needs to change. So bottom line, if someone is not a fan of what you're doing, usually it's because they feel you're doing something wrong. At times you could be doing what you feel is right, and maybe what others feel are right, but sometimes you can bend a little bit what you're doing to ease someone else's mind. And this goes mainly for interacting with the regulars. When they have specific things they want done with a route, just be open to what they are suggesting or what they're telling you to. As long as it doesn't go against what what management and what your training says, take it into consideration. And not only will you two, you and that particular regular, get along better, but it could be something beneficial for the rest of the routes that you could apply it to. Like recently, I didn't know about Advo. Advo was like the kind of thick advertisements you get every week. There's a certain way that a lot of the regulars put it in the box, and I didn't know that there was a particular orientation that was best for whatever they want you to, kind of roll it in. And then I didn't know that was a thing, so when you do end up rolling it in, you're actually creating more space for mail. Like if you just kind of fold it, or just kind of like bend it over and put it in, like with all the pages exposed, it makes it harder to put mail in for the regular who is doing the route the majority of the time. So like little things like that not only make it to where you do your job better and faster, getting a system developed, but yeah, you can apply that knowledge and that information to the other routes, and then those regulars will appreciate your extra effort and your accuracy and your just overall care for the route that they do every day. Their customers are important to them because they have to interact with the customers the most. Like you mess up someone's route, the regular usually gets blamed for it because they're like, my mail was all messed up yesterday. They're like, oh, I wasn't here yesterday. And the customer doesn't really care who delivered the mail. It's whoever's in front of them right then and there. That's whose fault it is, So you don't want to put them in a position where they're going to get in trouble with the customers or management, and then they have to defend themselves all day, you don't want to do that. Like you're going to create friction between you and that regular or management, and you want to get along. It is a very small environment. Even in the biggest post office facility, you will get a reputation really quick for being a piece of shit if you do shitty things. Like if a regular suggests something and you don't do it, they're going to take that as a slap in the face. They're going to take that as, oh, this guy doesn't care, or girl. So be mindful of that. Be open to criticism. On that note, I'm going to say, that's enough for this video. There's a lot more that we could touch on. If you want more of these videos, let me know in the comments. I'm sure I can think of more things that'll help you survive in this environment. When I say survival, I mean like stay in the post office, not quitting on the first day, not quitting on the first week kind of thing. Just getting your mind prepared for the struggles of the post office. And a lot of people just think it's like, oh, just delivering mail, it's fun. Like there's a lot of work that goes into it. And, when you get in the service, it's like, it's way different than what you think it is. So I'm trying to mentally prepare newer people, and then also try to shift and mold some people that may be set in their ways, and just kind of like get them to think a little bit outside of their box. But on that note, have a good day. Thank you for watching, and I hope to see you in a future video.